Police in Scotland have confirmed a firearm was involved in the death of a soldier during training at a weapons range north of Inverness. Almost 24 hours after the incident at RAF Tain, 30 detectives are still trying to find out exactly what happened. The serviceman's family has been told. Our reporter Ali Gibson is in Scotland for us and says what happened raises more concerns about the safety of military firing ranges.
This is normally a quiet part of the Highlands. Today, it found itself the centre of a media circus as people try to make sense of the news that a soldier has died here in a fatal firearms incident. The North Highland Area Police Commander briefed journalists on what we know for now, that 20 soldiers were involved in a training exercise on the RAF Tain firing range, and that when emergency services were called here last night, one soldier was fatally injured. Their next of kin have been informed.
It's a very large open site, particularly with the exercise taking place. It wasn't confined to one small area, it was taking place across a large area. So we want to make sure that we secure the area for the time being and gather all evidence so that we can support the family and inform exactly what has taken place last night.
And how are the Army working with you on this investigation?
The Army, from the very outset, the military have been fully cooperative with ourselves. We're very clear in terms of Police Scotland having lead for the investigation here, but the military are helping us in terms of managing the cordons around the site itself, but also particularly with the family who are going through a very difficult time at this, with what has happened.
It was around 6 p.m. yesterday that the emergency services arrived on the scene, and now Police Scotland are taking the lead in the investigation, with 30 detectives involved. It's not yet known whether this was an accident or whether there could be another cause. RAF Tain is known for its aircraft bombing ranges, but the British Army also use the ranges here. Earlier this year, we filmed troops using them to practice foxhound tactics. But one local MP has expressed concerns.
My concerns are probably quite general. They relate to the management of RAF Tain generally. They also relate to the fact that, as I understand things, personnel have been reduced at the range, and some of those personnel have been lookout individuals who clearly have a responsibility to keep the public off the range when it is being used for target practice. So these sorts of issues may have contributed to this untimely death. I'm not sure about that at this stage, but it's something that we will absolutely have to look into.
Well, this is a tragic incident, and my heartfelt sympathies are with family and friends and all who loved the individual who has lost their lives. This is a reminder that those who serve in our armed forces do a dangerous job, not just when they're fighting on the front line, but every single day, and it underlines the gratitude that we owe to them.
It's just 2.5 months since the news broke of the death of Private Conor McPherson of Three Scots. He died during a nightlife firing exercise in Otterburn. This latest incident in Tain is likely to raise some of the same questions about the safety of training with live ammunition. Police Scotland have told us that the nature of this incident means there'll be a continued police presence here for the coming days as they work out to try and establish what happened here at Tain. It's a specialist site with difficult terrain and many uses, as my colleague Grace Pascoe reports.
RAF Tain is 35 miles from Inverness on the Moray Firth in the north of Scotland and was constructed before the Second World War. It's the largest of 4 air weapons ranges and is used by all 3 armed services as well as the US Air Force and other NATO air forces. The main users of the range are the RAF with their Tornado and Typhoon fast jets from RAF Lossiemouth. They use the site for practicing low-level flying and bombing targets, of which there are 18, suitable for various weapons. The Army uses Tain for exercises involving its rifle and small arms ranges. Both the terrain and targets are diverse, making it a challenging environment. The range also employs civilian contractors who manage the estate, clear ordnance and assist in the control tower. RAF Tain is no longer used for flying operations, and many of the remaining runways and hard standings are now overgrown. Grace Pascoe, Forces News.